One day, in a small town, there was a boy named James. James was very eager to learn and always curious about how people could achieve success in life. That summer, James visited his grandfather, William, a man with a wealth of life experience who had gone through many ups and downs. James loved his grandfather very much because the stories he told always carried valuable lessons. One day, while the two of them were sitting in the garden, James asked, "Grandpa, how can I become a successful person?" William smiled, not answering immediately, but instead led James to a nearby nursery. There, he bought two small saplings. On the way home, James curiously asked, "Grandpa, what are you going to do with these two trees?" William just smiled. "You'll see." When they arrived home, he planted one tree in a large pot and placed it inside the house. The other tree he planted in the yard, where it would have to face the sun, wind, rain, and storms. James curiously asked, "Which tree will grow faster, Grandpa?" William gently replied, "What do you think?" James thought for a moment and said, "I think the one inside will grow faster because it's protected from the sun and wind and won't be knocked down by storms." William simply nodded. "Let's wait and see." Time passed, and James returned to the city to continue his studies. 4 years later, he came back to visit his grandfather and remembered the two trees they had planted. When he looked at the tree inside the house, he saw a small, weak plant. Although it had grown, it wasn't remarkable. But when he stepped outside, James was amazed to see that the tree in the yard had grown into a tall, strong tree, its branches spreading wide, casting shade over a large part of the yard. Shocked, James asked, "How is this possible, Grandpa? I thought the tree inside would grow better." William smiled and replied, "You see, the tree inside was protected from harsh conditions, but because of that, it never had the opportunity to develop strong roots. Meanwhile, the tree outside had to endure rain, wind, and storms, forcing it to dig its roots deep into the ground to find water and nutrients. These difficulties made it stronger." James began to understand the meaning behind the story. William placed a hand on his grandson's shoulder and said, "Life is the same way, my dear boy. If you always seek comfort and avoid challenges, you will never reach your full potential. But if you dare to face difficulties, overcome obstacles, and keep pushing forward, you will become stronger, more mature, and truly successful." James reflected on his grandfather's words. He realized that the struggles he once thought were disadvantages were actually opportunities for growth. From that moment on, he decided he would no longer shy away from challenges, but instead learn to face and overcome them. From then on, whenever James encountered difficulties, he always remembered the image of the two trees his grandfather had planted. He no longer feared failure, but saw it as an opportunity to learn and grow. And just as expected, James continued to improve, achieving great success in both his studies and later in his career. James's story is clear proof that success does not come from avoiding challenges, but from facing them head on and continuously striving to grow.